Hello again, friends. This is Mike, or Creation Creator. I am back again, here to talk about some important things, say about life, consciousness, and the universe. So what I wanted to talk about today is what's known as Guru Yoga. And I'll talk about it for a few minutes, and then I want to try something. So Guru Yoga is, for me, it's a very powerful thing. I've found it to be a natural extension of self-love. First learning to love yourself when it feels so foreign and strange. And it changes over time, and it becomes what I see as Guru Yoga. And so Guru Yoga is known as basically choosing a master, or like an ascended master, or it could be a real master in some traditions, but a lot of people don't have that. But it's basically learning to identify yourself as the master. And it's a very powerful thing. It's you learn to do it by imagining yourself as the master. And this can be done many ways. My favorite way I've found is to use icons, which is basically like a holy image that you gaze at it, and the icon becomes a doorway where the blessing of the master comes through the image into your consciousness. And it's a very, very transforming thing. It's very awesome. And the basis of the whole thing is, so say you first learn self-love, and you get better at it, and you get to the point where you can feel it. It's a real thing, and it's like it becomes less effortless, or more effortless, and you do it naturally, and it doesn't take effort. So the extension of that is you change from seeing yourself as a body trying to love itself, but you realize that there's something much more deep and powerful going on. It's I like to think of it as your identity begins to become non-local, so to say, which is basically your identity is expanding far beyond just your body, and it's becoming much more expansive. So say at first it expands outward to other people in the world, and eventually to a planetary level. And that's what's known as unity consciousness. That's what's so powerful, and it's what's coming alive on the earth right now with the ascension and whatnot. It's amazing and it's beautiful. But the expansion of your identity, it doesn't stop there. It keeps going, and it can grow and grow and go and encompass the stars and the galaxies and all galaxies, and it's truly an amazing thing when you learn to non-localize your identity from your body, because the body has limitations and weaknesses and all of that, and so many of us identify with that. But we do not have to stay that way. We can learn to shift the identity from that and shift it into the master, which the word I like to use for that is the Christ Mind Collective. And so for me, the icon I use is a picture of Jesus. And it's funny because I was raised, I can see how some people would think that that's a way of just worshiping Jesus as God, and that's how Baptists see it. It's how many see it. But to me, what I've learned is that Jesus was a master that taught that what he found is available to everyone, and he embodied that to the highest degree a human's capable of. And so when I gaze at the image, the Christ Mind Collective, which is like the collective energy of all masters, it comes through the image, and the blessing transforms your identity from the body and into the collective. And so when that happens, it's truly amazing, because your body, you don't like move away from your body and begin to see it as like not real. It doesn't matter. It's not my identity. No, the way I've learned it is whenever you realize that your true identity is far beyond the body, you realize how special and how amazing and how much of a blessing it is to have a body that you are in, that you are the guardian spirit of the body, and it's your blessing. It's your vehicle in the world. Like, you exist, and you learn that you exist in the Christ Mind Collective. That's your identity. That's where all of your power and love and like higher wills and reasons for being comes from. But you're like an emissary between worlds, where all of that love and power that you learn comes into the body, and the body wants to be here. Like, it's your job to divinize the body, or it's also known as deification, where you can learn to, there's a practice called emanating the deity. So you can learn to embody the presence of the deity, which is not a man that lived thousands of years ago, but it's your own higher self, your own unique individualization of that they found. And you are able to embody that and live from that, and that shifts your identity from the body, and then it can go back and forth, and it can be weird and kind of strange, but the holy grail of that is balancing the masculine and the feminine, or like the absolute and the relative. Like, the absolute of your true self is like what I call the Christ self. And the Christ self is the child of Mother, Father, God. It's your perfect template. It's your identity. It's who you are. But the relative self, who you are right now, is no more or less divine than your Christ self.